everybody, this is Don LaGreca from The Michael K. Show. When it comes to talking sports, Bob Walters and Brett Grasso are the authority.
Can't wait.
When it comes to talking sports, they're the authority. It's Bob Walters and Brett Grasso. It's Locked Up Sports, and it starts now.
Bring them out, bring them out, hey. Bring them out, bring them out, yeah. Bring them out, bring them out, hey. Bring them out.
Here we go. Bob Walters, Brett Grasso from the Brian Gunzel Studios. This is Locked Up Sports. Islanders and Rangers Stadium Series from MetLife Stadium today. St. John's and Seton Hall from USB Arena. NBA All-Star Weekend. The three-point contest, dunk contest yesterday, won by a non-NBA player, second straight year. All that plus pitchers and catchers reported this week. Brett, it is the 2-year anniversary of our show. Welcome.
2 years. 2 years. Unbelievable.
Back to back.
I wasn't actually able to be here for our first anniversry. I was down in Florida.
That's right.
So
that's right.
this is nice to actually be in studio. Second anniversary.
We made
Honestly, I thought we were lying to you last year when we said we were going to have a better year. Totally thought we were just lying.
My favorite thing about the whole thing was when I very first started it, before we even did a show, I put something on like Facebook or something. I said, and biggest names in New York sports as guests. And our friend Vasey, Ryan Vasey, was like, LOL. He laughed at it. And then we got it.
Yeah.
And we want to thank Bob Usler for starting, kicking it all off. Everyone who's come on. We got 2 big guests coming up this week.
Yep.
We got Sean Marash.
Sean Marash from Evan and Tiki Show.
Guy who got A-Rod's number retired.
Yep. A-Rod Day the other day.
We also have Chuck Everson, who's, like I told you last week, he's in the Facebook group. So if you have anything, he's an 85 center. He covered Patrick Ewing in the final. Villanova, the true Cinderella. So we're going to have him on to talk of this big game going on for St. John's today. So
honestly, the 2 years, a big thank you to each and every one of those guests, because a lot of those people, we're talking about Jeff Pearlman, best-selling author, co-wrote books with Jeter, about Bo Jackson.
NBC Nightly News anchor.
Yeah. Absolutely. I even look back and it doesn't even seem
Mets
real.
General manager, Mets manager.
Mickey Callaway, Steve Phillips. You go back and it all started with someone like Joe Beningo who went crazy. And let me tell you, me and Bob were in awe and shocked for the entire Joe Beningo Steve Farrell, Scotty Farrell.
Scotty Farrell.
That's why I was like, let me tell you, that was a huge one who, out of nowhere, just somehow, I don't even know why.
He was a fan of the show. He said, the reason I did this because I see you, because I watch your show.
It's really become from something that started as a text message of Bob sending to me and my other buddy Frank and going, hey guys, anybody want to, join us this radio show? Someone's asking me to. We were
that close to being a gambling show.
And Frank, first thing Frank's like, I'm in. And I laughed and I looked back and I was like, you know what? And separately, I sent Bob a message separately.
Right behind his back.
Right behind it. I was like, I go, give me a call in a week when it doesn't work out with Frank.
Frank's not doing it. I'm doing it.
And even then, I was like, oh, man, what are we getting involved in?
Yeah.
Because honestly, I think I realized more than you did, because when you get involved in something like this, like, it's kind of a commitment. And I was like a little hesitant because you have to realize at the time it was like, the end of COVID, it was like, I was like crazy busy with work. You're crazy busy with work. I was like, how are we going to make it work between here and Queens? And let me just say right now.
And you don't even do anything.
No, let me just, that's kind of where I'm getting at is that Bob has really made this show what it is today. Bob is the producer. He's the associate producer. He's every producer. He has gotten all the guests. He's done all these extra stuff when I just didn't have time and my life was falling apart in so many ways. And produced a show from his own house with the baby, with the wife, and I can just tell you, it's become a big deal. The show's taken off, and when I said last year we're gonna have a better, this year is gonna be even.
Yeah, it's
bigger.
crazy.
It's starting off big. We got Sean Marash coming on.
It started with I was just randomly in a Facebook group, and I got the message to go on the 365 Sportscast from Mark Rosamond, who, listen, Mark doesn't contact me anymore. I think but anyway, thank you for getting it started. He contacted me. I didn't have any equipment. I knew I wanted to do a good sound system. I won a bet for $1,200.
Right.
Like the week before, I got the Roadcaster delivered to my house. Brett came over.
Yeah.
To my house.
To Queens.
To Queens. We
I took
put it
one
together.
ride out there, and I was like, there's zero chance I can make this ride out to Queens every week.
And the best part is we don't prepare at all. We have like Joe Beningo or we have Mickey Callaway. We don't even talk to each other all week.
No.
We come in, we talk for 5 minutes, we sit down and we do the show, right? That we don't put anything together. I just wrote this down as the intro was playing of what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, it's not even worth it because honestly, the more contrived it becomes is the worse the shows get. You want it to be loose. You want it to be, we know the topics. We don't want to know where it's going. I don't want to stop something that's flowing in the right direction and all of a sudden turn to some topic because we had to go ask this question to Mickey Callaway. No. I want to get on the dirt for Mickey Callaway and just keep going in that direction. Let's just see where it goes.
And that's the thing. That's what you had said before. I'm not a podcast guy. I didn't listen to podcasts. I didn't know about podcasts. I certainly never did a podcast. Most podcast stuff is evergreen content where you could listen to, like they'll get someone on and they'll talk to them about their life. I didn't want to do that. I want to do a radio type show, which makes it even harder because I have a deadline. I can't, like, we're going to talk about the Ranger game today. The Ranger game's going to be over by the time you're all listening to it, so it's hard. I got to get it out right away.
Yeah, and that's the stuff. Let me tell you, Bob, and I told him from the beginning, I was pretty honest with him right when we all started the thing. I was like, Bob, there's just no way I have the time to do all this extra stuff, and I didn't realize even how much more bigger it was going to get. But I know as time has went on with a lot of hiccups along the way with a lot of stuff. Let me tell you, us trying to set it up. We were trying to go live. You don't even know the mess that was. There's times where we recorded whole shows.
We've done shows where they didn't record.
There was nothing there. There's nothing there. Do you know how many important guests that we've had on there where we're like, total malfunctions? We had Mickey Callaway on. He's at home in Tennessee. He's going, my Wi-Fi's not working in Tennessee, and we're getting in between every one. And now we're on there for a half an hour with Mickey Callaway. And he's like, listen, guys, I'm going out later. I'll be at a random gas station. And how about I do it from there when I got service? So now Mickey Callaway's driving to find service in Tennessee. Like, it's been the funniest, and those are the best moments, because we've had that with everybody. Who did we have on last week with the same concept?
The baseball writer.
Yeah, of course. We have one of Bob Nightingale, one of the biggest we had him on. We're like,
half hour he's on the line.
And the nicest guys, and they've honestly, these people just like to talk sports. They're not here to do any favors. They're just, it's just what they do, and it's just been such an amazing ride.
Who's your favorite guest?
I mean, it's so hard to go against.
I think mine's Sweeney. Sweeney and Bob Usler.
Sweeney Murdy.
As far as people,
Sweeney Murdy was one of the most fun that I've talked to. Bob Husler, of course, but he's just like a friend.
He's a friend of ours at this point.
But I loved it all. I loved having Jeff Perlman on. Beningo's its own thing because he didn't even know. It didn't matter if it was us or the wall. Beningo was about to go off.
Damon Amendolara, who I did by myself. He was great. Mike Westhoff.
Yeah, Mike Westhoff is. I mean, he was I was actually most nervous, I think, for Mike Westhoff.
Yeah,
I knew him so well as a fan, and the fire that he has for it. I was like, and by the end of it, he's trying to take me fishing. We have plans to go fishing, and I'm going down. And what's funny is I didn't even think about this. Is I'll be down in Florida March 1st. I'm heading down March 2nd, and I didn't even think about it.
I don't think he's coaching for the
off season for football. Why? It's the only good coach they had last year.
Listen, I know. I just think he's old because
not that special teams made much of a difference in the playoffs at all.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
So now
find somebody better than Mike Westhoff.
So if we screw up a lot of stuff, but hey, it ends up working out. Everybody seems to like it.
One day we're gonna long after, probably we'll have to put it in the bank after we die, but we'll let you guys see the pre-show stuff.
No. There's a video on Facebook. I mean, on YouTube. It's to me, it's my favorite video that we made. Right? It's the 10 minutes in studio before Jeff Perlman comes on.
I know it.
We didn't even read the book.
Pretty quickly before the show. So for the odds of that happening, plus Bob had a hold of the book.
Oh, it was great. The book.
I actually have since then read most of that book.
Check it out. The catcher, the tower, the backup catcher. He's a big time baseball writer.
But the pre-shows are the best.
Yeah, I asked Brett right before we came on the show. I said, "What do we do? What do you want to do?" And he goes, "Well, we already did the show because we did it. We picked you up from the train station.
And we just ripped the whole entire show on the way."
All right, so now
let's get to some sports.
This week we got today. there's big games all over the place, especially here in New York. You got Islanders, Rangers, outdoor at MetLife Stadium. We're going to get into that. I hate it. Brett likes it. You got St. John's, and who's in free fall against Seton Hall at the Islanders USB Arena. Huge game for St. John's.
Look at this pageantry on TV.
You got the NBA All-Star stuff, All-Star game going on. The All-Star game is not that good. I think the 3-point stuff last night, that was good. Mac McClung winning again, not even in. He's as much associated with the NBA as we are, Brett. So they'd be like us winning.
Yeah, if you had hops like that.
So now, first, let's start. Islanders, Rangers, MetLife Stadium. I hate the outdoor games. I think they do too many of them. I think it's gimmicky. I think if it's, listen, you want to do one of them a year? You want to do a Winter Classic New Year's Day? Fine.
Well, I mean, at least this time they were like, listen, 4 different teams, 1 sheet of ice, all relevant to the area. I think they did a good job with this one at the Meadowlands. It's a sold-out crowd. We're looking at it right now. There's a huge flag on the field. The jerseys are awesome.
The jerseys
they did a great, awesome job. That's what this is all about,
Yes,
Bob.
selling jerseys, of course.
Patches, jerseys, hats, selling out 80,000 people.
There's not a good seat in the house.
There's not a good seat for a Giants game either.
Well, yeah, because you're watching the Giants. There's not a good seat in the building, right? They're charging you $90. Last night I saw $90 to get in the building, right? Upper corner of the end zone. It's less than the Garden. The other problem I have with it is
$300 to watch the Jets Giants in a rainstorm.
There's going to be more points scored here in this. There's going to be more goals than there were points in that game.
Yeah, that was actually the joke when they scored in the first 15 seconds of the game. They were like, "Oh, it's the first time the Jets or Giants didn't score in the first 2 minutes all year."
The other problem I have with this game is now it's a big game. Okay, the Rangers are coming red hot. They're winners of 6 in a row. They got an 8-point lead in the division. They're really playing well. They just lost a big player for the season, but it's now what? What's today's date? It's February 17th?
Yeah, it's about right.
February 17th, right? They started in October.
It's the 18th, but yeah.
18th. So October, November, December, January, February. 5 months we've had to wait. This is the first time the Islanders play the Rangers.
Yeah, it's because the first few months are just pointless.
Yeah, but you want it. Why are we waiting for 5 months to play? It's not like the Mets,
why?
Yankees, or Giants.
Why?
Jets.
Come on, it's clear as day, Bob.
It's because they added teams. That's why.
No,
they reshuffled it. Why?
Because the NFL, the biggest ticket in town, ended, and they said we got a slot open on Sunday now.
Then why did they put?
And it's because if they competed versus them in any other way, it wouldn't have worked. Not that they couldn't have played each other.
No,
but I'm talking for a game like this. Like this would have had half the ratings if they were trying to compete versus the NFL, which they wouldn't have even bothered.
How does it do on New Year's against the bowl games?
Probably bowls are nothing anymore.
No, I agree. Bowls never
Bowls
were
are
anything.
no, they were at a point where if you were in the Orange Bowl, regardless of what it was you were going to watch it, and like not just because we were kids, like it was a big deal, and now it's not.
Looks like a big Ranger crowd, a lot of blue in there, big Ranger crowd. But that's to be expected. The Rangers are a better team.
Well, exactly, because we've got a bunch of
the Islanders, Patrick Waugh,
a bunch of fair weather fans out there.
Like you're
going for the pageant. I'm not any of it. I'm go there.
I can't name 3 players on either team.
It's probably true. We know some hockey news you don't even know. Did you know there's a big record that's being about to get possibly broken in the next game for Austin Matthews?
See
that? You know what he's going for? That's never been done before?
Consecutive games with a goal or something, a point?
He's going for the 3rd game in a row with a hat trick.
Oh, 3rd game he got back-to-back hat tricks?
Back-to-back hat tricks. Never been done before for the 3rd one.
Wow, back-to-back hat tricks.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. Kreider scored a hat trick the other night. The Rangers, you got Shesterkin back. He's playing goal. 21-12-1, 278 goals against average. But he has not played well. Okay, he got benched for Quick. He got benched right before the All-Star break. Now he had one good game.
Has he ever lost outdoors?
He's only
never undefeated outdoors. That's his thing. Outdoors.
That's not his thing. What is he? 1-0? 2-0?
Sunlight. They can't handle it.
It's terrible.
It's the sun.
It's terrible.
You get that sun in your eyes,
and what a miserable place to be. Right? This is a 4:00 kickoff in February.
They don't have the ghosts of Messier hanging over them, looking at them.
Listen,
from the rafters.
I don't like it, and I think the Rangers, and I like the jerseys. I didn't think I was going to like the jerseys, but I do like the jerseys because
it's the opposite of the new MLB uniforms. It's the dead opposite. The new ones with the mini writing. This is the opposite. These are monstrous letters. Look, those are the biggest letters and numbers you're ever going to see on a hockey sweater.
I like it. And I love hockey. Brett likes it big. I think hockey purists don't like it.
Well, you keep calling it a jersey is my first problem with you
It's a
today.
sweater.
I know old stuff.
Now,
This new hockey's a bunch of crap. Put a helmet on, I'm done.
now baseball pitchers and catchers also reported. Now, to me, listen, I said to you that it's not the start of spring. It's not the start of baseball. For me, baseball has not started.
Yeah.
I can talk baseball. I have no issue talking about baseball.
Yeah.
But don't give me baseball's back. Baseball started. The day pitchers and catchers reported, we got our first snowstorm in 2 years here.
Oh, it's... Yeah,
Which, by the way, we got soft with snow, Brett. Because we got
it's
2
gotten
inches
very
of
soft.
slush. Yeah. And they canceled schools.
Well, the city got nothing. We definitely got a little bit more out
schools
here.
the night before in the city.
It was timing. It all has to do with the odds of this. Let me put it this way. Do you know how, like, when an inmate's like, I got chest pains?
yeah, he's lying.
And yeah, but you can't be wrong.
No, you can't be wrong. You're right. You're right.
You can't be wrong.
You can't be wrong.
Now, for the city, they were like, listen, we get it. We know it's probably not going to be bad. But if we send every bus or everything into the snowstorm, and it turns out to be for those 3 hours that the kids would have been on buses and in schools, we can't send kids into a blizzard. Like that's the process. So I will give you that. It's just you can't be wrong.
You're right. No, that's actually a fantastic analogy. But anyway, so pitchers and catchers reported this week. Mets, Yankees, Mets in Port St. Lucie, Yankees over on the other coast in Tampa. Rangers just scored.
Wow, look at that.
In Tampa, and there's a lot going on now.
Well, for the Mets, you start with. Well, let's just quickly. Honestly, we're not going to drag on about the Mets today at all.
Pete Alonso.
But is Pete Alonso? Is he going to get a contract extension? People are, typically it ends as soon as the season starts. You don't even talk about it. But Alonso has come out and said that, one, the Mets never even approached them about an extension at this point.
This is a new regime, that's why.
Right, but they've only brought up they were trying to lock down that 1 year of arbitration. They got that done, but they haven't heard anything since. Pete now says, one, he could see himself as being a Met for life. We know that. He's just saying the right things. We know he wants to go to free agency.
He's going to go wherever the money is.
He also says that he's willing to negotiate through the season, which is not a normal Boras thing. Is he just saying it, or are they not? Are the Mets actually going to offer him something?
I think he's just saying
It seems to me like the Mets are their plan is to let this year ride out, see what Alonso does, and if we have to throw all the money in the world at him, or maybe they won't.
That's not their plan. The plan is that we think we're okay. We don't think we're good. We think we have a chance to contend. More than likely not going to contend. Yeah. And when we get to the All-Star break, the trade deadline, we might want to move them because we might be 10 games out of it, and we might want to move them, and we don't want to have it sign the contract.
But wouldn't you, at that point, because listen, you're never going to replace his offense. Like, you're just not going to find...
And he plays every day.
No, if you do replace his offense, you're going to pay more than it costs you to get Alonso. Do you know what I... Like, that's... clear as day.
Why can't they trade him and then re-sign him in the offseason?
Because he's not going to want to come back if they do it in that way. Like I just with the new regime right now, if he might be butting heads with them already. Like so, it may not work out the way that you think.
But Boras is in his ear telling him to go to free agency. Go to free agency. Bet on yourself this year.
If you're getting towards the trade deadline. And say Alonso's not having his out-of-control year, okay? Which I don't think is going to affect what his value is that much.
It will.
He's done it for so many... No, but he's still going to be at...
He's already asking too much.
But say he's at 20 home runs, he's batting 260, he's got, 50 RBIs.
He's a 200 hitter.
No, no, you're right.
217 with 46 home runs. Now he hits a ton. He's a very consistent power hitter, and he plays every day.
But why wouldn't you offer him, or at least throw reasonably good for the Met numbers at a contract extension at him, leading up to that to see? You got to find out first. You got to get the first number of. If you haven't talked, that means you don't have the. Oh, I want 8 years. 300 million, or you don't have the no. We want to give you 8 years, 200 million, and you got to find out how far apart you are from.
Why can't the Mets give him whatever it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. That's the whole point of Steve Cohen. It doesn't matter. Give him whatever he wants. Give him a blank check. Give everybody blank checks. That's what it was supposed to be. And now we're 3 years in.
It's not.
And they're getting cheap with the money.
I can tell you right now, Steve Cohen learned, and was like you do in any business. after that year or the 2 years that he's been looking at the books, and all of a
He
sudden,
lost $300 million last year.
and that's nothing to him.
No, but then he doesn't like losing $300 million.
No,
and now he's getting cheap this year.
Not at all. And he realized that if he goes that, it compounds itself. When you go throw that money at Scherzer, and you go throw that money at Verlander, you go throw that money at Lindor, you go throw that money. If you end up going and throwing that money at all these guys, and the next guys want more. And the next guys want more. And then the average player that would have signed up for, 1 year, $10 million, they don't want 1 year, $10 million. We're going to the Mets. This guy's got money.
Good.
I'm taking 1 year, $20 million.
We got the money.
No, I know, but you needed someone like David Stearns. Listen, I don't want to just win last year. If you told me the Mets were going to win last year, and I'm not talking win the World Series, like go to the playoffs, contend in the World Series, but then it was over for the next 7 or 8
But
years.
the Dodgers could go every year, right? Dodgers contend every year, and they just signed $2 billion worth of players.
Yeah, no, you're right, but forget it. That's not going to last for them. There are a couple years before all those guys start getting traded.
They've been doing that forever, though.
That it's going to be a trade dump. But you're right. No, I have no doubt that that's what's coming. That is the plan. You have to realize that's the plan next year, Bob. You're just realizing they realized this year they weren't getting those guys. They went for them. They wanted the pitcher. They weren't even bothering with Ohtani because they knew he wasn't going to come over here.
Fair.
They went for the pitcher. They went for Yamamoto, and he decided that he was just going to play the Mets like he did, and he wasn't leaving either. And let me tell you, they realized at that point the smartest thing the Mets will have ever done is not go out and throw money at somebody that doesn't fit for them.
Do they get Soto? They got to get Soto, right?
Not definitely.
Next year.
Not definitely. I think that the Mets are thinking...
See, I was under the impression that we came in here, right? I got $15 billion. I got more money than anybody. The other owners were terrified
Bob,
that he was going to give them all the money. But he said, we're going to win a championship in 5 years. Here we are, year 4.
But if you went out right now and all of a sudden signed someone, say, like Freddie Freeman to...
everybody. We want everybody.
Yeah, but you sign him to that 7-year deal. You have to have him play for you for those 7 years. Like, he's going to be sitting there and...
No, you cut him. Cut him.
I hear...
Right, we got billions. Cut him.
He doesn't. Nope, because I can tell you, go watch it. You know how much money that he lost on GameStop? When all that stuff happened, Steve Cohen lost those. Let me tell you, this is a Mets curse.
Oh, GameStop with the
This is a Mets curse. A Mets curse of
with the Reddit stuff.
We had the Wilpons lose all their money in their Ponzi scheme to Madoff. All right, Cohen comes in. You know what the first thing that happens to Cohen when that all happens? He lost like billions. They had shorted. He was the biggest shorter on GameStop. Do you know that? The biggest shorter that was waiting for it to go down when it went up. And all the money came due. And let me tell you, that's a big reason why.
Yeah, but see, that's not my problem.
It is because you're
a billionaire.
He came in
here and he said, we're winning in 5 years. I have all the money in the world. The other owners were scared of him.
When you have $20 billion and all of a sudden you only have $9 billion?
I don't think it's like that. at all. He came in, he has $15 billion.
I'm telling you.
And he lost $300 million last year. And I think nobody, even if you have $15 billion, you don't like losing $300 million, right?
This is what happened. The new guy, David Stearns, came in and said, no problem. I will take the job. It's my job. I make the decisions.
Yeah,
I make the decisions.
Yeah,
and let me tell you,
how much did he win? How many World Series did he win?
He's not going to win any anytime soon. But he really did. He came in and let me tell you, Stearns has a plan. If Cohen was a fan like he is, he would make any rash decision and go trade away everybody to go get whoever and then be stuck back to square one where we have. He has decided to sign somebody up and gave him everything in the world, including control. So this is not Cohen. When we look back and say, why didn't the Mets do this? Why didn't the Mets do that? It is not why didn't Cohen do this.
Well, you think this guy's our manager is better than Buck Showalter?
No, he is more controllable.
Yeah,
he is controllable. I don't know if that's going to be for better or worse. If the guy above him is the right guy for the job, I'm all for it.
They don't even have a general manager.
Because I know, but because they don't even want one. To be honest with you, our general manager's out there. I don't even know. They put him in like that MLB prison out somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Isn't there some kind of
he's faking injuries?
He's in like Shawshank right now.
He's faking injuries.
Yeah.
So that's with the Mets. Listen, it pisses me off because we were supposed to be the
sign Alonso. Sign Alonso. You're never going to have anything like that ever again. You go sign Alonso.
He's homegrown. He's going to have 500 home runs.
Go give him his money. And honestly, the number that you give him in in 7 years when his contract's up, you're going to look back and realize you're going to give people double and triple that.
You signed all those players you mentioned that turned out to be garbage, gave him all the money in the world.
Good
now you're playing hardball with Alonso, and Alonso sees this, he gets pissed, right? You'd be pissed if everybody else got all the money, and now all of a sudden it's your turn for a raise, and they're like, well, I don't know if we want to give it to you. Like, you cut the guys. You're paying Scherzer and Verlander still more money than you're paying him this year. It's a mess.
It's crazy.
Now with the Yankees are a championship or bust this year. Back to that. Sean Marash is coming on the show.
Most importantly for the Yankees is WFAN on Friday had their A-Rod day. And Sean Marash went and he won a bet versus Evan. And Sean Marash is coming on our show. I can't wait to get to talk to him about A-Rod Day. And you're like, oh, he won this bet. And the bet gave him the power to make one decision for WFAN, a very major decision for the show. People actually thought he was going to change the name of the show. And they actually believed that they were going to allow it. As far as they talked about it, it was going to be like they could have changed something. He decided to have that decision be A-Rod's jersey will be retired in WFAN studios. Can we
both for the interview? Yeah. Can we both wear Edgardo Alfonso jerseys?
We should, because that is let me tell you, Fonzie, the most underrated Met that without Piazza would be seen
or
as.
Should I have some kind of locked up sports 13 made for him and sent to him?
We got to find out what Marash's number is. We're going to hang it back. We're going to get that going. But he goes out, let me tell you, he sets up A-Rod Day, which they hang the number from the rafters, and the whole point is now people are talking about it like Marash may be the reason that A-Rod gets into the Yankees Hall of Fame.
Into Monument Park?
Into Monument Park.
I don't think Monument Park.
Number retired.
No chance at Monument Park. Number retired is different. The Yankees do two different things.
It is.
He's not in there with Jeter and Mo and them. I'd retire his number. I think he deserves it for the Yankees. He bought a championship, right? He won the championship.
How long he played for
He won 2 MVPs.
He played for 12 years?
2 MVPs, championship, the best third baseman.
And he's the reason they won that championship. Him and CC Sabathia are the only reasons they won that championship.
He's not only the best third baseman in Yankees history, he's the best shortstop in Yankees history. He's better than Jeter.
I just look back and I don't understand why there's such hatred for him.
Because they got this, like you told me before, the spoiled brats. They came right out of a dynasty a couple years before. They wanted more. One's not good enough for us.
100%. He was there to win multiple titles. He definitely started off slowly by not having good postseasons, bad postseasons, where honestly, it just wasn't looking good for him. All of a sudden, on a lackluster 500 Yankees team, he took them in the second half the one year and propelled them almost single-handedly into a run at the World Series. The next year, with CC Sabathia, they went and won that World Series with A-Rod going off and having one of the better postseasons in history.
He won 2 MVPs. When you
look back at his numbers as a Yankee, if he was a homegrown Yankee and you only got those Yankee years out of him, he would have been looked at like a Yankees legend.
He's better than Jeter.
He came over and was kind enough to be like, I will take third base.
And then became the best third baseman in Yankees history and the best third baseman in the game. Best hitting third baseman, best hitting shortstop of all time.
And it comes down to this, where we have to go and have some day to try and propel him into having his number retired.
He belongs in the Hall of Fame. Now listen, we could get into that whole thing. People like A-Rod, people like Bonds, people like Clemens.
I thought I was going to hate it. Let me tell you, I thought I was going to hate the A-Rod Day on WFAN. And from after watching it, as I really am, he's disingenuous. I think that's a big problem, is he always tries to make himself seem better or cooler. He's
also a big star.
No, he is, but he would come in and he didn't have to do anything. It was just weird. Other stars just could come in, but I thought it was a really good thing that he did, and I think that people should stand up more for the guys that they believe in, because there's some Mets guys that probably should be getting that type of love too.
He should have been on the Mets. We could have given him the suite that he wanted. They couldn't give him a luxury box. Damn Will Ponds.
Mets are not used for that. The Mets are used for some other team as a negotiating
No, I think
tactic.
He wanted to play for the Mets. He was signed.
I know. That's what they say. They were all signed. We signed Carlos Correa.
We spoke to Steve Phillips about it, right?
We signed Scherzer. We signed Verlander. We signed them all. They're great. They love New York.
I mean, listen, the baseball writers the baseball writers think who they are. They like to, Bob Nightingale, he's one of them. They like to be, they have the hand of God, the way they look at it. And there's a whole generation of baseball players that are missing in Cooperstown, Brett. The best players that we've ever seen are not in Cooperstown. They're not in the Hall of Fame. Right? The Hall of Fame, supposed to tell the story of baseball.
All their stuff's there.
It's supposed to tell the story of baseball.
All their stuff is there.
Yeah, but they're not in the
Every
Hall of Fame.
single stop. Let me tell you, their jerseys, their bats, their accomplishments. There's wings dedicated to them. There's all of it. Let me tell you, all of that stuff is there. But you know what? They just don't get their plaque. They don't get their due. They get their money taken out of them. They go, come on in and look at all this stuff and all these accomplishments these guys make. But they don't get to go stand at the podium. And you know what? As the years go on, I was anti. I was a, you know what? I didn't like it, but I look back on it.
I don't like it.
And I didn't like it because I saw what it did at the end. I know it brought baseball
there's
back.
certain guys
but it
that
was
should be in.
There was certain stuff, right? Because regardless, it should be like a standard of, if you never did steroids, you already had it. You know what I mean? Like,
I'd forget
you know what I'm
about
saying? If you were already there. Like,
They put in who they like. Big Poppy's in there because he was a nice guy.
if you interview,
Poppy.
yeah, you answered the call like it's like us.
Barry
It's like
Bonds was a
We were
jerk.
talking about this earlier. We put out more, Bob put out more emails to people of trying to get them on the show, and we only like you if you call back. We don't like the rest of you.
And we're going to get on Marash,
We
too,
used to
'cause I've
like
been
it.
dealing with
We
him
were
for a
like,
month.
oh, I'm really looking forward to it. But guess what? We didn't hear back from you.
Yeah.
So now we don't like you.
Yeah. There's people
Yeah.
I disregarded.
You're
that
not
as
hanging
being-
you from the rafters. We're hanging Marash from the rafters.
We're at the point now, Brett, where we're turning people away.
Yeah. We got room. We got room up on our rafters.
And all right, so now, first of all, three quick ones by the Islanders. It's 3-1 over here, 8 minutes into the game.
I got the over, I hope.
Shesterkin's looking
Hope
like
you're taking the over.
Shesterkin's looking like he did 3 weeks ago.
It's the sun.
The problem with
Told
Shesterkin
you.
is when he starts giving up goals, if it's not a tight game, he loses focus, and all of a sudden it will go 3-1 to 6-1.
There goes
and
that-
it happens a lot with
There
him.
goes that streak he had in the outdoors.
Yeah, good one. Talking right. So
It's not over yet.
Another big. So that's what's going on in baseball. Pitches and catches. I think full teams. There's a game next Saturday, Brett. Next week it starts.
I'm going to.
I'm not watching.
I'll be in Tampa.
Brett tried to get me to go down. I mean,
Well, I would have too.
I can't.
Honestly.
I'm on house arrest.
No, I know. I actually couldn't make it. I have to go for a short trip down to Tampa. But I'll be down there from March 3rd to the
Short stay.
short stay, just enough to pop in. But I'm going to hope there's. My mom lives right there, so she's right next to the state. It's awesome.
Tampa.
No, but it's not like Tampa is like. But you have to realize who they have. Right next door, she's in Tarpon Springs. Right next door, Dunedin Blue Jays. 5 minutes away, Clearwater Phillies.
Oh, but that's how it is on the other side.
No,
too.
Clearwater.
It's the same
No,
thing.
I know, but her area is where, and then you have the Tampa Yankees. So you have right there the Dunedin Blue Jays, and I can go to any of those. And even when it's off season, it's the minor league teams. You pop in, do
Yeah.
whatever. But right now, that whole area is just like crawling with all the players. You go hit the nice restaurant.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
you,
yeah.
It's you and Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
And you tell him up, and he's from Philly, so you guys start cursing. It's nice.
I
Like,
saw,
it's a nice time of year down there.
Who'd I see?
The golf starts ticking around. They probably got the one of the big golf tournaments is right across the street from my mom
did
too.
you see the other day that they had? First of all, we'll get to the gambling thing real quick with the golf. But last week they had the tournament where they all go crazy. They had to cancel. They, had to,
waste
stop
management.
they had to stop selling beer
The waste management
because
yeah.
people got too wasted and were just
They
yelling and
won't
running
even
on
let it
the
happen, and they would just slide. No, there was this mud hill,
And
people were trying to walk across it. They have the one guy, and he kept face planting in the mud hill.
Guy jumped into the sand trap, started doing this. They were yelling at their backswings.
No, but that's their own fault.
It's their
They've
own
been
fault.
pushing that for years. Do you know what it was like when you hit the hole in one on that hole?
It got out
they
of
have
hand.
They have the full arena hole where it's
yeah.
fully covered.
The stadium hole.
stadium hole. But when you have a hole in one in there, the beer, and they say it's the craziest moment in golf.
You're right. It is, but
Let me tell you, there's 2 or 3 years ago, all I thought was, we got to be there. I'm serious. Like, can you imagine me, you, Biggins, and Gordy?
They stopped selling beer because there's fist fights going on.
Oh, yeah.
On the course. There's guys jumping into
It's Arizona. It's hot. It gets hot. Like
the
there's
sand
times-
traps and doing snow angels.
These guys are in there. They're like on their 30th beer. And they're just waiting for random guys to try and hit up.
Yeah, it was crazy. Now, also, I was just telling Brett before, this week at the tournament, just, I guess this past weekend, right? It was the weekend before, last week. After Saturday, DraftKings has a stipulation where as long as the tournament goes 36 holes, the bets count as it's a full tournament. We count it as a full tournament. it was supposed to rain on Sunday. So what a bunch of people did was they put in parlays of the top 10, and they just put it as is. Top 10 to finish a parlay of $500. They won like $1 million. If it got rained out, it got rained out.
Smart.
So yeah, it's smart. It's smart. So the gambling thing said no, we're not doing it. They slipped in something shady.
You can't slip it in after.
Yeah, and now they're getting sued. The bets were not made in good faith. I think they'll lose the lawsuit.
What do you mean
the players?
They don't give us bets in good faith.
No, I get that.
That shouldn't work that way. That's just someone who's like, you know what? I'm going to look into every factor.
Yeah.
Give me the meteorology. Give me, what are the odds of this? Is this? Those people took on a risk. They took on the same
Because if
risk
it didn't rain,
of this playing. And if it played, there's zero chance of it coming out that way. So So they were taking a bet and accepting a bet that in their eyes had no chance of winning.
Yeah. We don't know the weather, right? They canceled school just in case because they can't be wrong because they know they might be wrong. It might have got a foot of snow.
Yeah.
Blows one way or the other. It's
So
probably less likely.
If they knew 100%, they would have canceled it already.
They would have canceled. Yeah.
And it would have been over, and they wouldn't have to think about it. But they didn't. There was an option.
So they took the top 10. They bet it that it would finish in that order.
Right.
It did because they
Boom.
never played Sunday.
$1.2 million, buying a
1.2
new
million.
house.
Yep.
Buying a new house.
And they're not paying them out.
Lawsuit.
No lawsuit. They're
Big
going to
lawsuit.
get hit with a bunch of lawsuits. And you know what? They should just pay him out.
I'm gonna sue
Bad
them for
publicity.
making me have this conversation.
So that's what
Sick
that
of it.
happened there. So now also today,
Scammers.
big St. John's game. Listen, St. John's is the bottom's falling out for St. John's. This year it started out good. St. John's always starts out good. They start out good and then the bottom falls out. They're now in third to last place in the Big East. Okay, they're gonna have to play in the first day of the Big East tournament which means teams get double buys in the Big East tournament. They're going to have to play the first day. Now they're at a point where they're not even in the tournament. They were pretty safe when they beat Villanova 2 weeks ago to sweep the season series against Villanova. It was a pretty safe bet that they were going to make it. Villanova is fallen too. They are now the last team in, according to Joe Lenardi. St. John's is out. St. John's is going to now have to win a couple games. They're going to have to win today. Big game today against Seton Hall. And they're going to have to win a couple games in the Big East tournament just to get an at-large bid, like to be considered for an at-large bid, probably in Dayton. Again, like I said, it's the same story with St. John's. Now, we're going to have Chuck Everson on the show this week. I might have him on this week, or we'll have him sometime next week talking about the Big East. I see him every year at the Big East tournament. He's a big Villanova guy because he played for him. He won the title. But he's a Big East, and we're going to talk to him. And what's going on with St. John's? Why can't St. John's win, Brett? They're a New York basketball team. They play at Madison Square Garden, the Mecca. They can't get anybody to come to the school.
Is it going to come down to like everything else? Is there some nil money around the New York area? Like, just coming to St. John's going to get you that money? Because that's the only thing that's going to be the driving force.
Not because the Knicks are good.
For any type of NCAA like jump for a team like St. John's. You got to get the guys to come in. The only way to get the guys in is being around here going to get you paid to be at St. John's. That's not going to happen unless they go and shock somebody. Or unless this year, like they went and you got to
Elite Eight, Sweet 16,
anything like that. Like if something like that, or if you go win the Big East tournament. Do you know what I mean? Like even that on its own and puts you into a spot of now you're on the national stage.
But nil money? No, because if the Knicks was still terrible, then St. John's be the only game in town, right? They beat New York's team.
I know.
Knicks are going to be good now for a while.
I know, but there's still money to be made. A lot of these guys aren't going to the NBA. This is where their money is to be made. So they will leave a smaller tiered school. Like, oh, I go to Dayton. You're the best player on Dayton, and you're going to go second round to the tournament. Like, there's a good chance. Like, they'll put up a good run. But if you're telling me I can go make $900,000 to go play in New York.
Who's paying them $900,000? The St. John's players.
Put it this way. Do you know, like, the WNBA players? Like, I laugh because, right now, like, those college players, like, they're really good. Like,
they make
you look
more money in college.
Paige Buchers, and you look at, what's her name, who just broke the record
yep.
The other day, and Bucher's like, oh, I'm coming back. You'll see me again. Of course you are. You're not going to take a 90% pay cut to leave. You know where the money is?
College
for these women. That's the last money they're ever going to make in their whole lives. Right now, they're making more money than they would ever touch in the WNBA.
Yeah.
So you want to they're going to be 8th year eligible. Stay on there. There is money out there for these girls that is not even possible. So I don't know. I truly believe that if you're the smartest out there and getting the nil money to you, there is not a singular school, including Colorado for Deion Sanders, something like that. There's not a singular school that is out of it anymore, because you can, if you have the money, you're going to have the players within 6 months.
Well, Caitlin Clark, who set the record, she has an extra year of eligibility because of COVID. They're giving them all a fifth year.
She's keeping them on the fence, but she's coming back.
I saw that they might make. She might make more than the WNBA. I agree with you. Women's college basketball is bigger than the WNBA.
Oh, those average players they're getting league minimum if they go into the WNBA,
which is nothing, by like a 50,000,
something in that, right? Yeah, but they are making like the average player on a good team. If you're in North Carolina or you go to South Carolina, or say South Carolina is number one, and you go in there and you go win the title this year, and you made a name for yourself, and you got 2 years of eligibility, there's a chance that you may not even be on a WNBA squad, but you can go make a lot of money. But South Carolina, you're going to be better known for being on there and make some money. Angel Reese, big money right now for LSU, and she's the one who barely even played for the first half of the year because of her run last year at the title.
She pulls up from the logo just on the other side of half court, and just buries it for the record. And she's going to break the all-time record for the men, too, in another... she's scheduled, if she's on pace to do it in her final home game
this year. If she decides to come back, she's going to make it untouchable, the record.
Yeah, probably,
It's untouchable. I mean, depending on what years of eligibility.
It's untouchable because anybody good enough to break the record in the men's is going to go to the NBA. Right. Second year, after this second year. And the women, I mean, I guess a woman could break it. You never thought anybody would beat Rebecca Lobo?
Will somebody like Caitlin Clark... And some of the other, honestly, as women are getting much better at the sport, and there's more people who've been playing it from a younger age, and there's more money going into it. Do you think that her going to the WNBA spurs them to people to watch more, to them to make a little bit more money, and that all comes from the ratings?
No.
Do you think that there is like a next level of but do you think in 10 years or 20 years, as say the competition does get that much better?
Here's your question.
Do you think that there's a long-term watchability, viability for the WNBA?
Here's the question then. The question that you're looking for is, will it ever be women's tennis?
Right. That's pretty good.
No.
It won't.
So? I don't think so.
I think
Rebecca Lobo, Lisa Leslie, we had these stars.
It depends on
never Serena.
It depends on what you see as it, like a win, like what you see as what's the goal they're trying to achieve. They're never going to. If you're trying to say let's keep them up to, let's keep them on the level of, but will people ever care about who the WNBA champion is? Will people ever watch? Say a game, say a Jordan-like person, could be Caitlin Clark. Will people ever watch it in a way of, it's worth watching because of this one person?
No, because they said when women can't dunk, this and that. Now they dunk. There's women out there that dunking in the WNBA, they're dunking in college. Nobody cares. Yeah. Nobody cares. And it's not a thing against women. Nobody cares. It's just not, there's certain sports, tennis being one of them. Tennis really being the only one, right? Nobody cares about softball or women's baseball or women's football. They tried. Nobody cares about anything besides those leagues, right? Look at the XFL. They try to put other professional leagues. Nobody cares. That thing's going to go bankrupt again. They've already had to merge those 2 extra football leagues, and that's men.
So
nobody cares.
There's no hope for your daughter?
Soccer? Women's soccer?
There's no hope. What about Bethany?
No. There's no.
What do you mean?
I mean, is she going to be? Can she be? Well, college.
We're going to focus her on tennis. You have Russo. You have Frankie Russo come in.
Gymnastics.
You from a young. You got to get that. He didn't send you a racket yet. That's ridiculous, Frank. Frank, I'm so disappointed.
I'm a little upset.
Where's the baby racket? Do we know if she's righty or lefty yet? Do we have any clue?
No.
How early can we figure this out?
I don't know.
We got to find this out. We're Googling this tonight.
Well, here's the thing.
I know.
I'm mix-handed.
God, I
do everything. Listen to the weirdest thing I do. I shoot a basketball right-handed. I bowl. I throw a softball underhand.
Bob, this is what we do. As soon as we figure out, and it's going to be sometime this week, that we figure out which dominant hand she has.
It's not a different racket. Brett, there's not a righty racket and a lefty racket.
That's not the point. This is just in general for life. That's not the point.
Okay.
We are going to tie that hand behind her back, okay? So we can work out the other arm. Yeah. We need whatever arm we want to train her. If she's just going to be a switch hitter in softball, 100%.
Yeah, I don't think softball is where you want to go though. There's no money in softball, right? There's no fame in softball.
You need to work all the sports to have like all the different. No, this is just as she's growing up.
Who's the most famous softball
What
player?
are we pushing? I'm trying to figure, Bob.
No,
what are we?
Tennis or gymnastics?
It's tennis.
Tennis, gymnastics, or soccer.
Gymnastics, I feel like is too much.
Gymnastics is tough.
It's too involved, and like, you have to be in, like,
I don't want to do gymnastics.
and you're gonna have to move to Bella Caroli's gym in California.
No, I forget about you.
The Caroli Center, tennis place over in Stanford.
Yep.
Danbury, to be precise.
Yep. I want to gear her towards tennis. Would I have her playing at the U.S. Open? I want a U.S. Open champion. That's what I want.
Okay.
It's okay. We'll start working on it this week.
Oh yeah, no, we gotta. Yeah, listen. The first step is figure out, what her good side is. Is it a forehand? Is it a backhand? Get her. She got to get the arm strength. You got to focus on upper body before the legs start working.
Do I want to start with pickleball?
No, because then you have
throw
a
it
warped
off?
sense. Yeah, no. You want full size racket. No shortened hoops for basketball.
Okay.
I want you to miss every shot until you're fucking strong enough.
Now we also know one of the top pickleball players, Garrett Zolo.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he's like one of the Long Island top pickleball players.
Wow.
Yeah. So we got it covered. We got the racket sports covered here for my daughter. Should we start a GoFundMe? I got people, Brett, that are scamming GoFundMes.
No, you don't want to get involved in that. That's a separate podcast.
So anyway,
we didn't even get into the Super Bowl. Just so you know.
No, the Super Bowl, the shooting. They
yeah.
arrested the two guys. Listen, it's absurd. You can't even go to the Chiefs Super Bowl parade.
Wait. You mean they arrested who? They arrested
two kids. They also.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Shanahan for how he handled the overtime.
Now here's the thing.
Because that guy, he should have been arrested.
Imagine being Shanahan who took the ball, right? And because he took the ball, the Chiefs have a parade and this person is dead.
I didn't even think about that.
Imagine you're Brock Purdy because you didn't stick it in the end zone.
Dude, see, everybody was open.
Dead.
Everybody was open on that play.
Somebody died because there's a Chiefs parade. They don't die if there's a 49ers parade. They don't die. I mean, I hate to say it, and you're going to kill me for saying this, but the truth is, if the 49ers win the Super Bowl, that person doesn't die and doesn't get shot down, and 22 people don't get shot. Right? That's all I'm saying.
I think you're wrong.
You think they get shot? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Brock Purdy scores a touchdown and a 2-point conversion?
Maybe. Less people hurt. Less people. They were going somewhere.
Brett, they would. And how ridiculous is this? Ready? Me and you are shooting at each other.
Yeah.
We shoot 22 people, not each other. They didn't hit the one. They didn't hit each other. Not one of them got shot.
That doesn't make sense.
Brett just gave me a look like, and we don't want to go down this road.
I was ready. I was ready to sit back and see. I was just sitting back.
Let me hang myself. Thanks a lot.
I kind of just wanted to talk about the coin toss. I was like, let's start with you going to take the ball in overtime.
I would guess.
You went right past taking the ball in overtime. Was it a bad decision? Do you want the ball in overtime? We're at the parade. Like you even skipped the good part of the parade where people were having fun.
Coin toss. Listen, I look at it like a baseball thing. Bottom of the inning, right? You're going in the bottom of the inning. You want to know what you got to get.
You want to know where you stand.
You want to at least know the rules.
No matter what the outcome of the other guy's first drive, you're still in the Super Bowl. You know exactly where you stand. And if it was a touchdown, every down, you're going for it on fourth. That's the biggest thing. 100% if they scored a touchdown and you're at the 50-yard line or the 40-yard line on either side, and it's 4th and 3 or 4th and 20, you're 100% going for it.
If the Chiefs got the ball first, they had planned on score. If they scored a touchdown, they were going for 2. You don't want forget about the third possession. Everybody's doing
they
third
knew
possession.
it.
There wasn't going to be a third possession.
They knew it. They had it. They were set up for it. They were ready. And it's a whole thing where we talked about why the Chiefs were going to win this game, because to them it's just they're prepared. They've been there before. They weren't caught up in all the other hype. They took the time. They knew what the routine was.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, San Francisco now will know too. They may be back, but you know what? It isn't that easy. And they scapegoated their defensive coordinator for it, which is a bunch of crap. And so now, you know what? Good luck. It's going
to three-peat next year. Everybody's coming back. And Mahomes is going for the best ever. If Mahomes I take Mahomes today over Brady.
AFC Championship goes through MetLife Stadium next year.
Good luck.
MetLife Stadium.
Give me a break.
Flag. We're carrying flags. We're turning the lights out. Lights out. MetLife Stadium. We're gonna get rid of the ice.
Yeah, we did this. We did the
We're
whole thing
scraping the
last year.
ice off. We're gonna have grass.
Good luck.
Because of the World Cup, we're getting grass.
We might have a big spring here, Brett. Knicks and Rangers. We might have 2 runs to the. We've had Ranger runs. That's all we've had.
We haven't had disappointment like this in years, folks.
Yeah, we did with the Mets.
We're
With
ready.
Mets. That's
I've
the
never.
Jets.
Oh my God! I can feel the buildup and the disappointment just gurgling.
So
Because
now
that's what we need. Anything but a championship's nothing.
Oh, we're gonna get going. Don't forget, Sean Marash this week, Chuck Everson this week. We got big guests coming up.
Yeah.
Year number 3 underway. Locked Up Sports. For Brett Grasso, I'm Bob Walters. See ya.